Hello, this is Mystery Valley. Today I'll go over a computer-animated adventure film made in America, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie starts as Puss in Boots. Antonio Banderas tells the story of a shooting star that fell from the sky and landed in an unidentified location as the movie opens. According to folklore, the star contains a single desire that is only waiting to be granted to a deserving individual. Puss is having a good time as a living legend, hosting a party at the governor of Del Mar's house and performing a song about what a fantastic hero he is. Puss flees as the governor comes, but not before outwitting and outsmarting the governor and his guards. Puss awakens the sleeping giant of Del Mar after lighting off some pyrotechnics. As the one-eyed giant seeks to destroy the town, he participates in an epic fight. Puss employs his cunning to tie a bell around the giant's horns and use it to knock the beast out. Puss and the villagers are celebrating his win when the bell falls and crushes him. Puss awakens at the local doctor's office, Anthony Mendez. He informs Puss that he was murdered by the bell, but Puss is unconcerned since cats have 9 lives. The doctor, on the other hand, makes Puss remember all the other times he's died, in a bullfight, in a bad poker game, falling off a ledge, getting burned while making cookies, with a quick appearance from Gingy the gingerbread man, being launched out of a cannon, being crushed by a large weight, and having an allergic reaction to shellfish. That indicates Puss is on his last life. The doctor advises Puss to give up his life of adventure, but the cat is convinced he has nothing to fear. Puss is sitting at a pub when he is approached by the mysterious big bad wolf, Wagner Moura. He wields 2 scythes, but Puss is quick to pull his own sword, only to be disarmed just as swiftly. The wolf is one of Puss's most difficult opponents since he is swift and able to cut Puss with his scythe. Puss runs and learns he fears the wolf, forcing him to hang up his boots for good. Puss gets taken in by a cat woman named Mama Luna, Divine Joy Randolph, when the doctor suggests it. He buries his boots, hat, and cape as if he were dead for good, and then joins Mama Luna's other kitties who don't like him. Puss grows dissatisfied with his newfound domesticity. He is then approached by a little dog dressed as a cat, Harvey Guillen. The nameless dog is referred to as Perito by Puss. Goldilocks, Florence Pugh, and the 3 bears, Papa, Ray Winstone, Mama, Olivia Colman, and Baby, Samson Kayo, are bounty hunters looking for Puss for a secret mission, and they make their way near to Mama Luna's home. They break into Mama Luna's and demand to know where Puss is. Baby scoops up Puss, but Goldie doesn't know him since he's grown a beard and is missing his clothing. They discover his grave and decide to continue their task with a different strategy. Puss overhears them discussing how they wanted him for a robbery to take a map to the wishing star, and the map is in Big Jack Horner's possession, John Mulaney. Puss chooses to return to his heroism and go for the map alone, realizing that he can use his wish to reclaim his past lives. Puss infiltrates Big Jack's compound, but he is pursued by Perito, who believes he can assist Puss. Jack is a collector of different magical items from other fairy tales, Cinderella's glass slipper, poison apples, Alice in Wonderland's expanding cookie, and so on, and he wishes to use the map to discover the wishing star and acquire all of the world's power. Puss reaches for the map, but is stopped by his ex-girlfriend, Kitty Softpaws, Salma Hayek. Kitty had previously been recruited for the task by Goldie and the bears, but she was going to double-cross them anyway, and she is also upset at Puss for a recent betrayal. Jack notices them and pursues them, but Puss and Kitty escape in a carriage driven by Perito to avoid Jack's thugs. Jack then organizes his baker's dozen of henchmen, as well as the appropriate magical artifacts, in order to reclaim the map. Puss is terrified as he sees the wolf in the shadows just before the heroes flee. Puss, Kitty, and Perito stop running and enter the dark forest via a portal to continue their adventure to the star. They discover that the map may change the surroundings depending on who holds it. When Puss and Kitty grasp it, their paths are doomed to be dark and perilous, but when Perito holds it, the route transforms into a joyous rainbow realm thanks to his unending optimism. The cats agree to let him keep the map. They are then forced to go quicker as they observe Goldie and the bears descending down. The trio must pass through a pocket full of posies, a field of gigantic flowers that assault Puss and Kitty, but Perito's smelling of the flowers endears them to him. He says the cats must stop and smell the roses. Goldie and the bears, as well as Jack and his henchmen, encounter the posies, but they have less luck, as several of Jack's men are devoured or killed, whilst Goldie and the bears are able to battle their way through. The main trio continues on, with Perito giving Puss and Kitty his backstory. His previous family would constantly try to get rid of him, but he kept coming back, until they finally got rid of him for good by putting him in a sock with a stone into the river. While Puss and Kitty are humiliated by his narrative, Perito sees the bright side of things. He eventually wanders away from the group and into a brightly colored forest, where Jack and his thugs await and kidnap Perito. After Goldie and the bears arrive, another battle breaks out, and Jack's thugs are murdered again when he smacks them with unicorn horns, causing them to burst into confetti. Goldie and the bears steal the map from the trio during the battle. Jack also encounters a talking cricket, you know who I'm talking about, who attempts to identify the good in Jack and act as his conscience. It does not work. Puss is forced to flee as the surroundings darkens and scares him, and he worries the wolf is following him. Perito locates Puss and attempts to console him. He admits to Perito that he requires the wish to preserve his life. Puss also tells Perito what he did to enrage Kitty. He abandoned her at the altar on their wedding day because he believed there was no space for anyone in his life of adventure. Kitty overhears Puss express guilt for injuring her and decides to assist him in getting back on his feet. When Goldie pulls out the map, she and the bears are escorted to their old cottage, where they first discovered Goldie when she sneaked in. Goldie had never had a genuine family because she was an orphan until the bears took her in. They intend to grant her dream for herself. Meanwhile, the trio sneaks into the cottage, with Puss successfully reversing the map until they are discovered. As they attempt to flee, Goldie captures Perito as a prisoner, as the atmosphere continues to transform. When Puss obtains the map, he is trapped within a massive crystal cave. He gives Kitty the map so she may find Perito while Puss attempts to find a way out. Perito sits and watches Goldie and Baby dispute and insult each other, but he assures them that they have the perfect family that he wishes he had all the time. As the bears develop feelings for Perito, Kitty manages to steal him and go. Goldie and the bears become lost while attempting to find their way back, resulting in an argument in which Goldie expresses her desire for a genuine family, as in a human one. This crushes the bears' hearts, but Mama pledges to assist Goldie in obtaining her desire if it would make her happy. When Jack tries to push the cart across, he uses his surviving henchmen as a human bridge to the next halt, with all but one of them falling to their deaths. Just before he is flung off Jack's shoulder, the cricket knows Jack is a cruel guy. Puss speaks to his initial 8 lives in the cave, who all come across as pompous bastards. He finds he is enjoying his current life with Kitty and Perito, but his realization is cut short as the wolf appears. He informs Puss that he has attended his past deaths and that he is death himself, there to retrieve Puss's soul. Puss flees in terror once more. Puss arrives at the star's position and begins the incantation, I hope I may, I want I may, to make the wish. Kitty and Perito arrive, with Kitty believing Puss has betrayed her again after they discussed sharing the desire. Puss tries to convey that death is on his way, just as Goldie and the bears, as well as Jack and his henchmen, arrive. During their struggle for the map, the star rises from the ground and generates a force field that spits victims out. The henchman is sucked out, and Baby is nearly drawn up with him, but Goldie forgoes her chance at the wish in order to save Baby, realizing that the bears are her actual family. To save Perito, Kitty knocks Jack into his bottomless sack. The wolf then reappears and captures Puss in a fire ring. He mocks Puss's dread of mortality, saying that he would be a coward if he used his wish to evade death. Looking back on his time with Kitty and Perito, he resolves to make his final life count, so he pulls up his sword and fights the wolf. Puss manages to disarm the wolf after a tough battle. He becomes upset since he had hoped to take Puss as a roguish hero fearless of death, as opposed to who he is now, but he determines that another time will come for him to meet Puss. The wolf departs, but Jack emerges from his sack, having consumed the expanding cookie. He takes the map and begins to make his wish, but Perito attempts to distract him by making beautiful puppy eyes after Kitty demonstrates how to do so. It doesn't work on Jack since he's such a jerk, but it only buys Goldie time to toss Puss and Kitty at Jack while the bears join in on the battle. Puss, Kitty, and Goldie shred the map apart, causing the star to malfunction. Jack tries to reassemble the map but is missing one, which is in the hands of the cricket, who burns it and fully destroys the map with Jack's phoenix. The star completely disintegrates and consumes Jack before erupting back into the sky. Goldie and the bears part ways with Puss and his pals. Perito decided to keep that name since he is thrilled to call Puss and Kitty his new family. They sit together and gaze at the stars. After a few days, the governor decides to take a holiday, only to discover that his boat has been stolen, and he knows who did it. Puss, Kitty, and Perito set sail for new experiences and to see old friends, as Puss puts it. The camera then goes off to far, far away, presumably so Puss may pay a visit.